So I thought we'd do a fun little video today and compare two of the more popular miniature reel-to-reel tape recorders. I have the AIWA TP60, this is the TP60R, and the NAGRA SN, this is the NAGRA SNN. And I know they say that comparison is the thief of joy, but I guess I just really love stealing joy. So we're just going to take a quick look at both of these recorders. Have some nice B-roll footage. The NAGRA is my personal machine, but I will be putting the AIWA up for sale. I should probably start off with a disclaimer first. The AIWA is a toy, basically. It's a cheap dictaphone recorder, whereas the NAGRA SN is a professional, high-quality field recorder. So there's going to be some significant differences between both of these. But they are both in the same kind of size classification, and they're often considered to be probably the most popular of the pocketable-ish reel-to-reel tape recorders. These are the smallest you'll see, and they were popular in spy movies and shows like Mission Impossible and things like that. So I think that when most people think of miniature spy recorders, these are the two most common ones that you find. There's plenty of other recorders and stuff that have been made that are a lot more obscure than these, but both of these are pretty much readily available. So I want to kick things off by talking about this one, the AIWA. It came to me in pretty good cosmetic condition. It is very nice. It comes with a large metal lid with a clear plastic viewing window, and the lid doesn't actually clip into place. It's just a friction fit. And on the top of the machine, we have two very small reels. Now, I haven't actually measured these, so maybe I should do that. Okay, so let's see how big these are. Now, I got a pair of rusty calipers, and they don't accurately measure anything. So I also have my ruler here, and we are looking at 2.5-inch reels, or just slightly under. I don't really care about being accurate. So these are slightly under 2.5 inches, and they take standard 1/4-inch reel-to-reel tape. And if we take a closer look at those hubs, you'll see that they are indeed standard for most reel-to-reel or full-sized reel-to-reel recorders. The number one major downside about this machine is that it is a rim-driven recorder. And I'll show some close-up of that working. And we'll notice that that is the case because we have a small motor spindle in between two rubberized pads on the reel bases, on the platters there. So what this means is when you power on the recorder, that little spindle is going to make contact on the rim of the reel to drive it along. So the tape is actually being pulled through the center of the spool. The spool is what is advancing the tape. So as you play the tape and the diameter of the reel increases, so does the speed of the tape. Compared to the NAGRA SN, which is a capstan driven machine, we have a capstan here and a pinch roller that drives the tape. This means that no matter where you are in the tape, it's always going to be running at a constant speed. So if you're looking for audio reproduction on this machine, unless you're playing it back on the exact same machine or a similar one, you're going to get a lot of speed variation. This machine does have nicer controls and inputs, though. It has a nice orange record button there. We have a motorized rewind, stop, play, volume, and your inputs. We have a remote control input, microphone, and an earphone. The inputs on the SN are a little bit more complicated. We have a remote input here, which is proprietary. We have a microphone and line input here, which is proprietary. We have our control switch, and we have our headphone jack. So in operation, both of these are very simple. The other thing I wanted to point out quickly was that this has an internal speaker, and it runs on 4 AA batteries. This one does not have an internal speaker and runs on 2 AA batteries. And the combination of those features being left off of the NAGRA SN, no motorized rewind, less batteries, and no internal speaker means that this is literally half the size of the AIWA. It's a little bit longer, chunkier on the base, but as far as the actual height and thickness goes, exactly half. And they weigh about the same. So I can't say that weight is that much different. Most of the bulk on this is just this metal cover and 2 fat reels. And I think we'll move on to the last major difference between these 2 recorders is the head arrangement, and I'll show you the heads up close. The AIWA is a 2-head machine. It has a half-track record head and a half-track playback head. So if you wanted to double your record time, this machine currently gets about 3 minutes. You can flip the reels upside down and record a second track on the other side of the tape for a total of 6 minutes of record time. If you want to record over your tape, you have to hold up a magnet to the end of the tape to erase it. The NAGRA SN, on the other hand, has 3 tape heads. We have an erase head for getting you clear, even recordings, a record head, and a playback head. And even though the tape is half the thickness, it is a full-track mono recorder. So the track size between the 2 machines is actually identical. Where the SN shines is with its proprietary reels. You can get a lot more tape on there. You also have 2 variable speeds, 1 7/8 and 3 3/4, whereas the AIWA runs at its mystery speed. So with the proprietary reels on the NAGRA, you can get different tape lengths based on the varying thickness of the tape, but also they just natively hold more. And our standard recording time on this thing is, at its slowest, 54 minutes with standard tape at its slowest speed. So about half of that. So about, a little under a half hour for the normal speed, the high speed 3 3/4, which is significantly more than the AIWA. And this also came in the SNS, which is a half-track machine. So you could get double that length. You could get a couple of hours of record time, or you could get the SNST, which was a stereo version. I don't know if the AIWA came with any of those configurations. The final thing to point out, I guess, since this is going to be a short video, there's not a lot to talk about here, is the sound quality, which is terrible on the AIWA and absolutely superb on the SN. So let's play a little bit on this. We can hit our play button on the side here. Yeah, sounds pretty bad. And that is, of course, the the Mission Impossible theme song. If we want to rewind, we have this automated rewind button, which obviously rewinds the machine. It's a little bit slow, but it's nice to have because on the NAGRA, since you don't have that motorized rewind, you have to unlock the tape mechanism and then hand crank it to go back, which, that's not a big deal. It takes a couple of minutes to go through the entire reel, but you also get a half hour of recording, whereas this thing gives you 3 minutes. It does have volume control, which is nice. The NAGRA does not. But you cannot measure your input volume as you're putting it into the recorder, so there's no meters or anything like that. You just kind of have to guess. So it is a very simple machine, and it sounds really bad. I do have a speaker here, which we're going to use to test the SN and give you a nice idea of the sound quality differences. And in fact, I'm not even sure we heard all of this, so I'm going to grab my microphone and bring it a little bit closer. Yeah, so that wasn't great. I'll leave my microphone down here by the wireless or the wired speaker. It is a Bluetooth speaker, but I plug it in manually. And we'll turn this one on and see. Got some nice, calming classical music. So, you know, having the microphone going straight into a speaker is not the best way to demonstrate audio quality, but as I said, this is a cheaply produced, lazy video because that's just the kind of mood I'm in today. I do want to show you what it sounds like to plug this speaker into the, the AIWA. I'm a little bit scared. Let's pump that up a little bit. As you can see, the higher quality speaker does absolutely nothing to benefit the audio quality of the AIWA. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? Just everything about it sounds cheap. But it's a very cute device. It works. I mean, it works. It does what it's supposed to do. It functions as advertised. Yeah, I'm not sure how much audio I can actually share of that without getting a copyright strike. So we'll just stop sharing music. But, so yeah, that's what the machine sounds like as it's powered on, and we can notice a significant difference to the NAGRA SN, which is whisper quiet. Very, very cool. So I absolutely love both of these machines. I think they're wonderful for their own purposes and their own reasons. Of course, the NAGRA SN, due to its beautiful construction and engineering, is one of my favorite tape recorders of all time. And as far as the TP60 goes, the AIWA, it is a machine that I've wanted for a long time, just to play with and just experiment with it, see how it sounds, what you can do with it. And the answer to all of that is very little, because even though it looks cool and it is cool, it's a terrible recorder. So I will be listing that one up for sale. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed my simple comparison of these two wonderfully popular spy-themed recorders. And yeah, they are excellent. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below.